let's just say good morning to Bob Nightengale, who was all over this yesterday on social media. Bob has the details, including, Bob, as we say good morning to you, who else was in on Darvish? If the Padres landed him, I would imagine there were other teams at least kicking the tires.
I don't think anybody like this. I think the Padres have been on him since the end of the season. Obviously, everybody read the writing on the wall that, hey, they got to cut payroll. Look, there's a reason why Theo Epstein resigned, leaving $10 million on the table. He didn't want to be part of this rebuild. The Cubs, of course, are lucky. They're the National League Central, the worst division in baseball. You can still be competitive in this division with about 80 wins because no one's going for it. Everybody's standing pat or stripping it. But Darvish is a guy that A.J. Preller loved back in the days at Texas. I thought it was a very smart move getting Victor Caratini with him. Caratini's caught his last 26 starts. You got that comfort level now. Very shrewd move. And, hey, they got plenty of depth now. They, got Kim as the extra infielder, super utility guy. They're set. They don't need any free agent starters. They got their two big boys.
Bob, I thought Matt made a really good point. We can see what the Padres are doing here. That's obvious. They're trying to win the World Series, not just get to the playoffs. Cubs is interesting because of the age of these players they're getting back. Other than Davies, I mean, these guys won't be able to celebrate New Year's with an alcoholic beverage. They're so young, right? So when you look
right,
at the,
no one's played above.
When you look at the contracts of Rizzo and Baez and Bryant, do we expect more from the Cubs before we get to opening day in terms of roster turnover?
Well, if you're the Cubs, it's going to be very scary in the sense that you trade Yu Darvish, who was the top, two pitchers in the National League last year, and you don't get a top 10 prospect back. You get 4 kids. None of them played above A ball. Some have not made a professional debut. And let's face it, without a minor league system, who knows what you actually got here? You're relying on one-year scouting reports. So I think it's very scary that, okay, you put Bryant out there. You only have Bryant for 1 year at about $20 million. Are you going to get anything back in return? Maybe now they sit on Bryant and say, hey, we're not getting much back. Let's wait till spring training. If we have to, let's go to the All-Star break. But to be honest, if you're trying to cut payroll, you don't want to give Bryant a single paycheck. So you still try desperately to move him before opening day.
Well, I mean, there are two ways to look at this for me, for the Cubs from their perspective. Either moving this money means we're trying to bankroll as much as we can to keep Bryant here for life, knowing that that's going to cost him a lot of money here coming up in the short order, or it's a rebuild that extends into a guy that we thought was a franchisable figure and a guy that was going to live and die his entire career on the north side of Chicago. It's really befuddling that the Chicago Cubs of all teams, with their resources and having launched a new regional sports channel and with still kind of basking in the 2016 afterglow to a degree, that they're among the teams paring back right now. This is a weird one for me. Not to mention, you're putting a lot on Alec Mills. Well, what's left in that staff now? Lester's gone. Darvish is gone. Kyle Hendricks is going to have to give him 200 innings. I mean, who else is going to pitch?
Well, Davies is a good pitcher.
All right, okay.
He's a good pitcher. Hendricks, Alzolay, maybe he helps out there. But you're right. There's not a lot of depth there. So, but I thought Bob made a really good point there about the Central. Maybe the Cubs think, Bob, that they can still contend even while trying to transition to the next winning Cubs team, because I don't see them signing Bryant this offseason, man. I don't see them signing Baez. So, what do you think is the immediate future of the Cubs, Bob? Because when I look at that team, I can't see how they're going to be better in 21.
Did we lose Bob? I think we might have.
Yeah, I'm
we
with
lost
you,
him.
Tom. You're a good athlete. I think there's a better chance. I think there's a better chance of Tom signing a long-term contract with the Cubs than Chris Bryant. I think there's no chance of bringing Chris Bryant back. I think he's gone. They should bring back a John Lester. Hey, Lester wants to have his, 200th win with the Cubs. He's a perfect fit. Bring him back. But otherwise, hey, they lost a lot of money last year. Remember that hotel across the street is theirs. The whole area around Wrigleyville. They bought all those rooftops and everything else. They think they're going to lose a lot of money again. So they're trying to strip that thing down. And again, I think this is why we saw Theo Epstein resign.
Amazing. It's just an amazing change, what's happening in Chicago. And just as amazing is this rebuild once again in San Diego, which is it's gone in ebbs and flows for A.J. Preller's staff. There was the winter meetings a few years ago when he did the Upton deal, the Kemp deal, Kimbrel, and it looked like they were a house of fire. That didn't work, and they kind of went in a different direction. Now that they have all this homegrown talent, they have added to it with free agent players and via trade. And let's talk about the top international free agent that reportedly has come to an agreement with the Padres, a guy that plays on the left side of the infield. We thought the Padres were in good shape there, but I guess you can't have too much talent. Tell us about Hae-Sung Kim.
Yeah, Kim's a guy, they signed him to a 4-year deal for about $24 million, and they're going to just make him a super utility player. They're keeping Cronenworth at second base, I was told. So he's still going to be their everyday second baseman. They're going to move, hey, Kim only plays third base and shortstop in Japan. Obviously, they got a guy named Manny Machado at third and Fernando Tatis Jr. at shortstop. But they said, hey, going to move him around the infield, going to move him around the outfield. And remember now, a year from now, Tommy Pham's a free agent. Will Myers' contract's about to expire. So they need some depth. They say, hey, let's just get a great athlete here that can help us in many ways. Really, they're trying to steal a page from the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have done such a terrific job with their versatility, particularly a guy like Enrique Hernandez.
It's pretty amazing, man. I mean, the Pods have pushed in. And I look, Padres fans are excited about this. I think it's good for baseball, and we'll talk about this throughout the show, the fact that the Padres and Dodgers rivalry, if you can call it that, is as spicy as it's ever been. Bob Nightengale with us on a Tuesday to talk about what's happening in San Diego and Chicago. Bob, thanks.